Okay, so I've talked a lot about what a personal brand is and why you need one, why it's important. So let's get into the first part of how do you even start doing that? So a lot of people jump to the visuals because when you think of branding, if you're not really familiar with it, when you think of branding, you immediately go to the visuals, the logo, the website, the colors, the content, all that type of stuff. And that's great, but that actually comes last. You first need to start with your brand essence. So your brand essence is an emotional value within emotional value in 2 to 3 words that describe your brand. So the way to start doing this is make a list of 5 words that describe your brand that are also an extension of you. So if you are having a little trouble figuring this out, I would recommend contacting like your closest friends and family and ask them if they would just like to send you a couple words that like make them think of you, right? So you want to then come up with 3 adjectives that your brand will bleed through all of your content that you have. And then you also want to think about what are the feelings that you want your ideal client to feel when they think of you. So a lot of that will be, it can have overlap with those 3 adjectives. And then what kind of emotion do you want your brand images to evoke? So we're thinking a little bit ahead to the visual stuff too, because you want to keep that in mind. But what type of emotion do you want people to feel? Do you want them to be do you want them to feel playful? Do you want to have some type of authority when people come to your page? Do you want to be relatable? Do you want to be joyful? Like all sorts of things. Do you want to be sarcastic? That's a big thing, but also with that one, be careful with who your target audience is and if they receive sarcasm well. So that's a whole other thing, but just to get you thinking. And then how do you want people to experience your product and service? So whether you're a coach or a network marketer or just entrepreneur or just, career oriented, let's like focus on the network marketer and the coach. So you have a product that multiple other people are selling. As a coach, you have a service that multiple other people are selling. So what experience do you want people to feel? Because that's the whole thing with branding. You're creating an experience for somebody. It's not just like, here, come buy my product, or let me tell you the benefits of my product. Like, that comes later, and you don't want to start with all of the whats. You want to start with why someone should purchase your product from you, pretty much because of you. You want to create an experience for them. Think about some of like your best or your favorite companies and like, why are they your favorites? More times than not, it's because they create an experience from the time let's say they're physical, the time that you step in the door to the time you leave. Everything in there is creating an experience, whether you realize it or not. And most of the time, you're not going to realize it. And that's what makes a really great company. So you have to think about, I like to use the example of Starbucks too, because as soon as you come in, like, first of all, their visual branding is incredible because that green, the type of vibe that they use, anytime you see that elsewhere, you immediately start smelling coffee. You immediately we've pretty much all been in the Starbucks. So we think about the experience that we had from being inside, right? So as long as it's not like the management is doing a great job, which usually they are, but you walk in and you feel comfortable, you feel at home, you smell the coffee, you see people sitting there working on different things, collaborating on different things. There's this atmosphere that's intoxicating. And then they have like really cool products for you to look at. And then as you're walking through the line, you're getting this experience of how they want you to feel in their shop. So keep that in mind too, because even if you are selling a digital product or a product but online, the whole experience is still going to be the same in the sense like you have to think about it the same way. So Then you want to think about the mood, the tone of voice, and the feeling. So it all kind of comes together under that brand essence umbrella. But think about those three things. And then I want you to write down the three adjectives after everything that you did. Write down the three adjectives that you want to exude in everything that you do and say, because a personal brand is consistent. That's the most important thing to remember, is that consistency is what actually builds a brand. People, like with Starbucks, you know what to expect when you walk in the door, when you have one of their coffees. That's why sometimes, like, I love going to local places so much, but sometimes when I'm traveling and I just like am super craving like a vanilla latte or something, I sometimes will just go to Starbucks because I know what to expect. I know that it'll be good. I've had more times of going into local shops and I don't like the coffee that they use or something like that. I don't know, but I've had more experiences from local places or whatever that I didn't really like the taste. But if I'm like super in the mood and craving like this one specific thing, I go to Starbucks because I know what to expect. So that's a big thing with branding, is you want people to know what they can expect from you. So what exactly are you providing in this experience for your target audience? And we'll get into target audience on another video of exactly like how to come up with your, or how to figure out your target audience and who is the best target audience for you as well, because there is that too. It's not necessarily just picking a random person, or a group of people. So anyways, that is what I would say to start with your branding, and then we will get into the next part of this in the next video. So if this was helpful, I would love to hear from you. Also, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments or send me a DM, and I'd love to clear up and clarify anything that you need. But again, if this was helpful, love if you would share it with someone else that is working on their personal brand as well.